things are moving on in the top floor bathroom. I've filled and sanded all the joints for the third time, and I've also been smoothing off this curve at the top corner here where the roof meets the beam. I've got the spotlights in and they're wired up and working. I haven't put the fixtures in yet because I'm going to wait until I've painted the walls. So this room's looking quite good. I'm going to have to get a bath soon to try and work out the layout. But still need to get the roof fixed. So I've still got the leak up here, although I haven't seen anything for 2 or 3 months coming through there, so I think I may have fixed it this time. But I've now got a roofer coming in a couple of months' time to replace all the roof, so I shall leave it down until that's been done. I don't really want it to get a leak and ruin all the new work. So I've moved on to the hallway. I've built this scaffold platform above the stairs so that I could get to the roof above there, and as you can see I have stripped all the old lath and plaster from around this window. Which means I can now get on with repairing the rotten timber where there's been a leak here. And there is another piece of rotten timber to show you. That's the old windowsill. I've taken that out as well and have cemented that over. So like I say, I've stripped all the plasterwork off, and there's a little piece of rotten timber here. Well, I say there's some rotten timber. A lot of the timber's gone, so I'll replace that and make it good, and replace this bit at the top here. But actually the rest of the timber on this window is good. This one's actually got a lot less damage than the one in the bathroom. So, and I'm also going to put this light switch into the wall because this is a proper thickness wall. I can do that. As you can see, I'm getting on with the installation now. Taken off all the lath and plaster as you saw, and I've fixed or repaired, replaced the rotten timber. The main bit was this one across the top here. That's now been gone. Replaced any timber that needed it. As I said before, this window wasn't so bad. It's just a little piece down the bottom here that needed replacing. It's now got all the rock wool in place. I'm about to cover it with the multi-layer foil insulation that I've used elsewhere. So yeah. The insulation is going well up here. I've got most of it in. The silver foil's over the top of the rock wall, and I've got most of the battens on before I put the plasterboard on. As you can see, the plasterboard's going on. Some tricky angles there to get close joints, but it's looking good. Update on the top floor, all the plasterboard is now up. I've taped all the joints and it's had 2 coats of jointing compound. I've also started to put some plaster in the gap along the bottom where it meets the wall. It needs another layer, but we're getting there. And one thing I think people will be happy with is I've now got the light switch sunken into the wall. I know having everything surface mounted upset a lot of people in the early videos, but like I said, wherever possible I was going to sink them in time. And this one's one of the first ones to be done. Here's somewhere new I haven't shown you before. This is up in the attic of the house. I'm up here today because I want to lift up some of these floorboards so that I can insulate the ceiling at the top of the stairs. I don't really want to take the ceiling down there because it's going to be very awkward to put new ceiling up above the stairs. So going down is going to be preferable. But I thought I'd show you stuff that's up in the attic. We've got this filing cabinet here full of papers and ledgers. Let's pull one out, see what it is. Try and zoom in on this writing a bit. As you can see, it's really nice style writing, and it's all to do with the business of the previous owner, or one of the previous owners of the house. I haven't got a date on any of this, unfortunately. Oh, there we go. This one has got the date of 1930 on it. I believe the previous owners of the house owned a slaughterhouse, so this is all their accounts from that business, and we have invoices and paperwork and all sorts of things up here. Pull one of these little ones out. Agenda 1949. Again, it's full of receipts of money to do with the business. So yeah, I've got all this stuff up here. the hamper. It's empty. There's another filing cabinet there. Again, that's full of paperwork from the previous business. Behind me I've got a stack of spare hardwood floorboards. The first floor is done in. And up that end there's a whole load of bags of loose insulation that's never been installed properly. I've got no idea what it was, and I'm sure it's not going to be as efficient as modern stuff, so that's going to have to go to the dump at some point. Okay, move up to the other end. There's a suitcase there, that's empty. And we have over here, that's part of a wardrobe. I think more of the wardrobes there. There's some chest of drawers. There's a box of insulation. And the main beams of the roof. We've also got two really small, you can see they're not much bigger than my hands, two skylights up here which are not big enough to get out of. So I don't see the point. So when I'm having the roof renewed, I'm going to have two bigger ones put in to be able to repair the roof. Go out and repair the roof if necessary. Although hopefully with a new roof I won't need that. But yeah, so my first job is to get access to these boards and lift them. There we go, that didn't take too long to get up. And that's given me access to above the ceiling in the hallway. There's 160mm depth there, so that's the thickness of insulation I'm going to push in there. I don't need to take all of it out, all the boards off rather. I should be able to shove up the insulation underneath the boards. And there we go, that's filled in between the joists with fiberglass insulation. 160mm there, this gives me an R5. It's probably not enough, but it's better than what was there, which was nothing. So anything's an improvement over that. Well, it's been quite a task to get insulation behind the slope of the ceiling up in this landing, but it's done now, and there's also insulation above this ceiling, which I managed to do from above without having to pull that ceiling down, so that saved me some work. There's a little bit more finishing off with the plaster work to do. There's another layer of jointing compound to go around the joints, but most of it's now done. It certainly looks a lot cleaner and nicer up here now. I've still got to make a windowsill. That's going to be involved some planing up with some wood. But I've got the light switch now moved in at the right place. And I guess the next job, before I tackle this bedroom, which I think is going to be pretty soon, I need to insulate all the outside walls, take down this ceiling which has been, well, it did have polystyrene tiles stuck on it, and I have these lumps of plaster or adhesive stuck all over it, and it's damaged the ceiling. So rather than take up all the floorboards up in the attic, and you've seen what's up there, I'll take this ceiling down, put the insulation up, put new boards up, and finish the ceiling that way. That'll be a nice finish. And again, I shall insulate behind that slope. That's basically just straight out onto the roof, and insulate the outside walls, and that'll make this room a lot nicer. And I think before I do that, I'm going to go out and buy a bath and finish off plumbing up this bathroom. The ceiling doesn't leak now, or I haven't had a leak. We had a big thunderstorm yesterday and there was no leak. So I'm going to put the bath, shower, toilet, wash basin in this room, I shall still leave that bit of ceiling unfinished until I've had the roof completely replaced. But I think get this room done, I can do that piece of ceiling afterwards. So we took the scaffolding down yesterday, and we can now see the front of the house without the scaffolding. I've still got to do the ground floor windows and the front door, but the grapevine is looking really good. There's a lot of grapes on it. They're purple grapes, so they're not ripe yet. But the windows look good, the render above the windows look good, and best of all, we had a big thunderstorm yesterday evening and I didn't get any water in through the roof, so hopefully I fixed the problem.